taking care of him 14 years, all of his life, well, some of you will be under the illusion that Archie loves me, but Archie doesn't love me at all, and the only reason he'll ever even think about coming back to me is because of the bag full of dead things that I have hanging off one of my shoulders. So in here I've got dead chickens, bits of rat, rabbit and squirrel, all the kind of things that Archie likes to feed from. So I just need for you to understand that he is very, very different to a dog that you might have at home. Now I have a little dog, I have a border terrier called Midge, and she's lovely. I'm going to go and see her after the show, and when she sees me she'll be so excited and she'll be wanting my attention, and that's what I'm going to give her, a fuss and a stroke and so on. But that's because Midge, being a social creature, wants to belong to my family group. It's very important to her that I think good of her. Well, an eagle, you see, and the vast majority of birds of prey are not social, and that's the reason why Archie and the other birds that we keep here don't even care what I think about them. So if I put my arm out for Archie without any food there, he quite simply will not come along and land at all. And that is honestly the relationship that we have. Don't get me wrong, he trusts me, he knows exactly who I am. He could pick me out of 5,000 people in jeans and a t-shirt. But it really is all about the food. And so for me, I think the world of him, even though he tries to bite me every day. There's never been a day in 14 years when he hasn't tried to bite me. Something which people find very amusing. If you keep your eye on him, he'll probably have a lunge at me from time to time. I think the reason people think it's funny, it's just human nature. When people come to the bird show, they either want to see us lose one of the birds or they want to see us get horribly mutilated. Not a very pleasant experience for us, but brilliant to be able to show you the splendour of a soaring eagle here at Warwick Castle. Archie does a great job for me, and at the present moment in time he's using that wind that we've got blowing very, very well indeed. Yesterday at this time it were much more difficult. There was hardly any wind blowing at all, so he was struggling to get around. And what happens out in the wild in North America, so it's the USA, Canada and Alaska, well, when it's easy to fly, he enjoys to fly. When it's not easy, he just sits around. And it's a really efficient way for Archie to find his dinner, you know, because a bald eagle is a fish eagle. They're perfectly designed to take big fish, such as salmon, which they snatch off the surface of the water using their very, very powerful feet. So he's got 4 toes on each foot, 3 pointing forwards, 1 pointing backwards, but on the end of these very powerful toes he has pin-sharp talons, and they really are honestly needle-sharp. So what happens is he'll perch on the exposed limb of a tree, use his binocular vision, so his eyesight is 8, maybe 10 times better than our eyesight, to spot something like a salmon. And it's then that he'll take off and directly attack it. And he ends up coming in extremely low over the surface of the water, and ideally throws out both of those huge feet, and then he can quite simply snatch that fish clean off the surface. But Archie, as an individual, he isn't interested in catching anything at all. He's never killed a single thing, with the exception of a few earthworms that have been by his purge, but he's never killed a single thing in his life, and that's because he just doesn't have to. He doesn't feel the need to, as I have all of his food for him here. But you know, he's going about his routine, he's doing what I expect him to do today, but very often Archie likes to go up incredibly high in the sky. He likes to go up on a thermal, a rising current of warm air. And I've seen him go up so high. He does it when he gets hot and bothered, when he wants to cool down. And honestly, on countless occasions, he's been up so high in a clear blue sky, you can't see him at all. And I hear people that are watching muttering things along the lines of, clever so-and-so, he's never going to see that bald eagle again. But I never worry about Archie, because I know after 5 or 10 minutes, he's going to come barreling back out of the sky. Seems like he's coming in at Mach 1. Realistically, he'll be 80, maybe 90 miles an hour, but nevertheless, seriously impressive stuff. Archie that time didn't particularly want to go off and do any more flying around. His belly's getting quite full now, and he's thinking, is it actually worthwhile doing anything else? But I'm hoping just to get a last couple of sets of circuits from him. He wants to come and land straight away, but I've been giving him this signal with my hands held up in the air, and that just means do something more exciting, basically. But he's worked his socks off there. I think he's done a great job. So how about a really big round of applause, everybody, for Archie, our bald eagle. So what he's now got to do, he's got to fly all the way back down to where he came from at the start of the show. That's where we keep our birds. They're not far at all, so if you want to have a look at them, just follow the river road around to the right, and we've got 8 birds on view for you to have a look at. And so everybody's aware, Archie didn't land on a random person's arm down there. That's Chris, who's helping me put the bird show together. So we're going to bring out the next bird now, and I need to give you a bit of a warning. So you guys here, for instance, if the eagle, and he's just been released down at the bottom there, so if he's flying up here and he's coming towards you a bit like Archie was, and you're looking at him and you're thinking to yourself, that eagle's going to crash into me, well, he might do, so just bear that in mind. He's called Merlin, he's 3 years of age, and not the best flyer that we've got here at all. He's crashed into Warwick Castle twice. He's had countless accidents in the big trees out here, and he's not sort of dangerous. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. He's just not that good at flying. And as far as the kind of bird that he is, well, this is another bald eagle. Now, he doesn't look like Archie, who I've just been flying for you, and it's because of his age. At 3 years, he's still he's a sub-adult. But by the time that he gets to be 6 years of age, he'll look exactly like Archie. And this is, in fact, Archie's firstborn son. So we've got Merlin's mum here as well. She's called Sydney, and we're going to be flying Sydney on the show at 2:30. Slightly confusing that mum has a boy's name. For 18 years, we thought mum was a boy until she laid 2 eggs. But that's another story. But certainly for Merlin here, the problem that I have with him is that, well, he just thinks he knows all of the answers to all of the questions. He just thinks he can do everything, and he can't, and that's why he often gets things horribly wrong. And the other thing with him is, when I'm flying him, I never ever know if he's going to turn up for work or not. He gets frightened by lots of different kinds of things, particularly long things that are moving. So for instance, if a member of Grounds and Gardens was to come past carrying a strimmer or a set of ladders, that's going to be very, very scary for Merlin. And what's going to happen is he's just going to he's going to fly off, basically.